Hello and welcome back to SparkleDart. Today I want to talk about fencing because fencing is cool. If you don't think fencing is cool, then you are probably not cool yourself. And that might seem like a bold, sweeping statement. I know. I'm a real radical man for saying something like that. And that might sound like it blows your whole mind or whatever. I don't really care anymore because if you don't like fencing, honestly, what is your opinion even worth? Probably dirt or less. And I will say that right now. Dirt or less. So fencing is when you basically put on like a colander over your face, and then you grab a pool cue and start smacking your friend with it. Burps every episode. That I think is what fencing actually is. If you were to be quite blunt about it, in the end of the day, maybe you can have proper fencing equipment. You can put on like football padding or whatever, and then it seems cooler. Or maybe it seems even less cool because it's like, wow, what kids do for fun is actually a pastime for grown adult human men. Now, if you've ever seen, what was that movie, Role Models, with Paul Rudd, I believe he was into fencing, and that is a good movie, and he's in there with Steven Seagal, and Steven Seagal is like, oh wait, no, that wasn't Role Models, that was I Love You Man, I think. Was that I Love You Man? I don't know. All Paul Rudd movies are the same because he's the same character in all those movies. I Love You Man, Role Models. He's probably in Superbad at some point. He's probably in... I know he's in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, so watch that movie. That's a good movie too. And Steven Seagal's the main guy in that movie too. That's a good movie. You should watch it. If you haven't seen Steven Seagal, it's a good movie. I would give that the SparkleDart recommendation because, you know, I like movies, and, you know, I hope you can trust my movie judgment. At least a little bit, you know. It's not like I'm trying to make you watch bad movies. If I wanted you to watch a bad movie, I would recommend maybe you watch something like Mars Needs Moms, or Mars Attacks, or Marv the Martian, or Mari of Mars. Any one of those movies is something you should go ahead and watch if you want to watch a bad movie, because that's what I would consider to be a bad movie. You know, come on, just let go, Eos. I tried to make it work, but it didn't, so I don't apologize, because I tried, like I said. Anyways, good movies starring Paul Rudd. I've listed pretty much all of them. He was in Dinner for Schmucks. I like that one. If you like Steve Carell, he's in that one, and Steve Carell plays like an invalid, like a dumb man in that movie. And you might think, well, Steve Carell, he's a pretty good actor. He was in that movie with Tina Fey where they're on a date night, and I think he might have been in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and he was also in what was that other movie he was in? Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. He was the invalid in that movie too. So I guess Steve Carell just has a pretty good rap sheet as playing invalids. You know, I guess that's something that you can take pride in, Mr. Steve Carell, for playing an invalid. Even when he was in The Office, I think he was kind of an invalid in that show too. You know, you might think I talk a lot about The Office, but honestly, it's a good show. If you've never seen it, you should give it a watch. It's got a good sister show. It's not necessarily related, but it's like very similar in theme. It's called Parks and Recreation, and it stars a lot of good comedians that I had never known about before they were in this Parks and Rec show that I started watching not too long ago. Notwithstanding the beautiful Rashida Jones, she might not be super funny in that show, but she's very attractive, and I would give her the SparkleDart seal of approval. And if you think that anybody else is hotter in that show, then you're probably right, because Aubrey Plaza is also in that show, and I think she's very attractive. And she's like all snarky, and she's like, I don't care about anything, and I'm like half Puerto Rican, so whatever. It's like, you know, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Don't make it a big deal. If you make it a big deal, it's kind of your fault now for making it a big deal. That's just all I have to say about that, I think. Anyways, go ahead and watch that one, Community. That's a good show. Allison Brie. You know, I'm just naming like actresses that I think are attractive now. That's what I'm doing. Can that be what SparkleDart is now? I just name actresses that are attractive. I'll run out real fast because I only think like 5 people are attractive in my whole world. The most attractive of all being Mrs. Zooey Deschanel. I think she's a very pretty woman, and if you don't think so, you should watch the movie Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and be like, I don't think that's very good. And then you should watch New Girl with the pretty woman Zooey Deschanel and be like, I think that's pretty good. or was it Aaron Brockovich? I don't remember. I don't watch a lot of movies. I mostly watch rom-coms that star people from the frat pack. If you don't know what the frat pack is, it's basically all the actors who are like the middle-aged to adult actors who are all adults but behave like children in their movies. So one example of which would be, I think, Jack Black is part of the frat pack. Steve Carell might be. Will Ferrell's in there. What's his name? Paul Rudd might be in there. I'm not exactly sure. If Paul Rudd's not in the frat pack, then he should be, because I think he's the voice of a generation, as many people have claimed to be, but he deserves that title because he's a very accurate representation to who I am and who I choose to be in my life. I think he's a very nice boy. The same could be said for Steve Carell, and the same could be said for Adam Scott. Adam Scott's the actor's name. He could be in there too. And also Nick Offerman. I'm just going back and naming actors now. That's what I like to do. I like to talk about actors that I like. Is there something wrong with that? If you think there's something wrong with that, then you can just page my agent and be like, I don't think SparkleDart's doing a very good job. You should tell him to do a better job. I think maybe he's not taking this so seriously where he should be taking it very seriously. And I'll be like, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to lie and say that you're wrong, because you are very right. I am not taking this seriously because I'm just checked out at this point. I don't even know what to talk about anymore because I'm like an insane man, and I like to talk about things like Valentine's Day and fencing, like I was going on about earlier, and even energy drinks. Energy drinks are okay. I'm not drinking more now, but I have before in the past. I drink like Monster Energy. They're like, Monster Energy's real mean and green, and it's got like a claw mark on the front of the can. It's like, what is even this energy drink? What is even the appeal of this energy drink? I don't know. It seems like this is something that a child would drink, but I'm an adult and I'm drinking the whole thing, and it honestly doesn't even taste that bad. You've got like 100 flavors, and most of them are caffeine and sugar-free, which is fantastic for people who are on a diet. Let me tell you this right now. Like myself, I'm on a gluten-free diet right now and a dairy-free diet right now because, as it turns out, I'm lactose intolerant. I guess that would explain why I went to an epileptic shock every time I drank a cup of milk, instead of just the fact that maybe I thought I just didn't like milk, but it turns out I'm actually like lactose intolerant, which means I'm allergic to milk. And you might think, well, I can't stand intolerance, SparkleDart. You're gonna have to change your attitude because you're too old-fashioned for me. And you know what? That's not always a problem. But like if you want to be like your grandpa or your dad, you have to remember that man is also probably a raging racist, and he doesn't like people of certain colors because he was raised in a way that made it not okay to be a certain color around other certain colors of people. Like if you like white people or brown people or whatever, that's up to you. But if you base your opinion on other races based off of what your grandfather thought, or what your daddy thought, or even what your brother might think, Joshua, I'm looking right at you, then you're going to probably be perceived as a bigot, maybe an intolerant person, maybe somebody who just doesn't care about the other people in this world. A lot of people say that about men like Donald Trump. They think he's a racist, and maybe he is a racist, I don't know. Not that he said he wanted to kick out all Mexicans and make them build a wall to keep them out, which sounds insane, right? That sounds insane. But let's give it a second thought, I think. No, I'm joking. I don't want to encourage any negative thoughts or behaviors on my show. I'm not about that. I like people to be able to express their own opinions, but I also like people to not be huge racists who exclude anyone from their thoughts and their charms and whatever else just because they are a certain color or whatever. You know, you can be whatever color you want to around me. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you for being brown or Arab or Chinese. I'm just not going to, because like I said, that's not what I'm all about. I'm a very nice, thoughtful young boy who also has very large hands for some reason. That's just how I was born, and if you don't think that there's anything okay with that, then I'm going to probably ask you to be a little bit nicer to me, because, you know, I'm a human too. I've got thoughts and feelings, and if you don't respect my thoughts and feelings, then I'm going to get upset about it, of course. But my hands aren't really that big, even though some people like to joke about it, say, SparkleDart, why do you have such big hands? If you write that in the comments, I swear to God, I will block you so fast. they'll say, SparkleDart, why do you have such big hands? I'll be like, I don't know, that's just how I was born. It's like that Lady Gaga song, Born This Way. You ever heard that song? She's like, I'm running track today, I've got some bills to pay, I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way. And that song is a very good message. The message being that she was born with a penis, and that's true, Miss Stephanie Gaga. I know the truth, and I'm going to keep it secret, safe with me. I won't tell anybody else that you were born with a wiener. Even though some people already claim that you were. You got broad shoulders like a man and a jawline that it could rival Peyton Manning's. And is that a problem? No. Because it is 2016 and women can have whatever sort of jawline they want. I don't think that's a problem, and I'm not going to make that a problem, and I'm not going to point it out because I'm tolerant. I'm tolerant, and I won't call you a transvestite or nothing like that. And if you think that I'm going to, then you can put those fears to bed right now, Missy, because I'm a nice guy, and I'm SparkleDart. You know I'm a nice guy. That's why I call myself SparkleDart. What did you think SparkleDart meant? You thought it meant something rude? Of course it doesn't mean something rude. I'm a nice guy. I would never be so rude to somebody that I cared so tangentially about. Not a lot, but, a little bit, Like I said, I'm very tolerant. If you like pizza or you like pasta, I'm not going to fight for that. Unless the pasta that you like is linguine, and then I will probably be like, that's disgusting, but I'm still not going to make any sort of audible cues that would suggest that I don't like what you're saying to me right now, even if I do think that, and I do. I mean, spaghetti is clearly the best pasta around, so if you don't like spaghetti, I don't even know why you're eating pasta, because it's just all trash noodles. It's trash noodles, guys, come on. You know this, it's 2016. Anything besides spaghetti is trash noodles, except for maybe rigatoni. Rigatoni's alright. Angel hair is basically just spaghetti anyway, so it's fine too. But anything beyond that, I think is just not okay. It's off the table. You gotta take it off the table. You gotta put it back in the pantry, or maybe even just throw it out in the trash compactor. If you've ever played The Sims, you know you should buy trash compactors for your house, because if you don't have a trash compactor, then your trash builds up real fast. Your Sim won't take it out. Then there'll be trash bags all over the floor. They'll start throwing away their bags of chips that they pull out of the refrigerator on the ground, and then they'll stack their plates up, and they won't order pizza anymore. And be like, "What are you doing, Sim? I raised you better than this." And be like, "No, you didn't. You raised me to be a punk." And I'll be like, "Sim, I did not raise you to be a punk. You're a very nice young man, and I gave you all the attributes in your outgoing and friendliness and smart, or whatever the skill sets were on The Sims that I don't exactly remember because it's been such a long time since I played them." And yeah, I think that just about cuts it for today. So thank you for watching SparkleDart. I've been SparkleDart. Goodbye and mwah.